basically, the ghosting strategy is one ghoster, which can still be the carry. I've seen Kobe, actually. I don't know if you guys watch Kobe or not, but he's been gear swapping. So you could gear swap and use the same character. It just requires a bit more forethought, and it's a little bit sketchier to do in hardcore. But obviously you could do this in softcore just fine. I think he weapon swaps. He uses similar strategy to Tota characters, and maybe some flask swaps. I could probably do the exact same thing, but I didn't think to do that, obviously. But that's good tech. But anyway, the strategy is simple enough. You have one character, or it can be the same character, that runs around collecting all the ghosts and ghosting mobs. The ghosts can ghost a few mobs themselves, and then you walk into them to get sucked, and then you become touched, and then you can ghost mobs. The objective is to ghost as many of the box mobs as possible. So you want to open up all the boxes, and those boxes with Enraged Sextant have massive quantity, and then if you ghost them, it adds quant on top of that, and it's just crazy loot, which is why we're getting so much cool loot, which I'll go over in a second. But anyway, you open all the boxes, ghost all the mobs that you can, leave, but you leave a TP in the boss room, pop the deli mirror. You can either pop the deli mirror then leave TP, or TP then go back and pop the deli mirror, doesn't matter. Then you log out, swap onto the new character. Again, you could theoretically swap gear instead of logging out to a new build. I just did it this way because it was easier and safer and hardcore to have two separate characters, but Kobe does one character, which is Big Dick. Then you go on a Magic Find carry, either with supports, which is what you'll see a lot of people doing, group Magic Find, and that's better because you can maximize rarity and quantity and you get the party bonus. But the advantage of solo is it's just easier, less logistics, right? You get less loot, but because you're getting 100% of the profit, it actually ends up being, I would say, better, at least in hardcore. It depends though, because you have to do more trading, so it's like, yeah. But anyway, to go over the Atlas strategy, I'll do that in game. But the way it works is you want to pre-roll a bunch of maps. So these are like mid-tier maps. These are the juicy 8 mod maps. And then I had some un-ID'd, which I've already run. And then I keep the Beyond separate as well, because I can run these Beyond, right? Which I'm doing right now with Torment instead of Beyond Sextant, because I don't think those stack. Need confirmation, but either way, I like to run a bit of Hunted for a bit of change of pace. Anyway, the way this works, you want to maximize your returns per map investment per time and all that kind of shit. So you do want to use Winged here. You can try Gilded, and I have bought up a bunch of Gilded. This is my first time doing stuff like this in many years of Magic Finding and playing PoE and all that kind of shit. Normally I don't do this, but I find it interesting. So hopefully at least you find it interesting as well, right? I think it's cool to see how you extract loot from monsters. It's interesting, at least to me. But anyway, so I'm using Winged, and like I said, you really want to do Winged, but some people are trying Gilded. I'm kind of not that keen to try Gilded anymore, just because I know Winged are f***ing insane. That being said, like I said, people are doing Gilded and trying it out, just because the price of Winged has gone up so much because of this strategy. But anyway, I'm using Winged div cards for those Apothecaries, Winged Unique for the Uniques. You do get a lot of Uniques, which again, I'll go over the loot in a minute. Torment, crucial. This is how you get your ghosts on your map. And then Ambush, because we are using Enraged Strongbox. Now this Sextant with the ghosts, this is what gives you like 80% of your loot. The box monsters having 500% quant, and then you touch them, they get the additional quant rarity bonus. All of a sudden, they just drop tons of loot. This adds more boxes and makes them rare, so you don't have to roll them. And then Deli Mirror, this adds more quant rarity to the monsters and adds a bit more monsters to the map. And then I'm using Hunted Traders here. This would be Beyond if I wasn't running a Beyond map already. But when you already have Beyond on the map and I save them to the side, that's when I do the Hunted Traders, just for a change of pace. You could probably replace this with other Sextants as well. Anyway, your favorite Crimson, and then the Atlas is a Wandering Path Atlas to maximize quant pack size, because that's what these do, along with these, which add quant and rarity. And then you got Ghost, Beyond. I added Blight just for something extra. You can replace Blight with Abyss. Some people like to add Cluster Jewel drop chance. I didn't find this to be very profitable. It adds like because the mobs don't drop 84 clusters very often. Like very, very, very rarely. Like literally almost as rare as an Apothecary do they drop an 84 cluster. So it's like, I found it to be a bit of a waste of nodes, but you could add that as well. And then obviously Eater Alter Chance. Very important you get the box nodes as well, obviously. You want the box nodes as well. How does Deli add quant? Just does. It's just one of the effects of Delirium. It just adds quant and rarity to everything. Because they become delirious. It's just what it does. I guess I'll go over my character real quick. So obviously this is the Ghoster. This abuses this amulet. You could probably do almost any setup as long as you have this amulet. This amulet, along with Petrified Blood, basically makes you immortal to map mods, to map monsters. As long as you're not getting clean one hit, this amulet will just make you immortal. I have a bunch of survivability on top of that, of course. Like I'm running Coil, Dawnbreaker. Like this character doesn't need to do damage. It just needs to be 1, very fast, and 2, tanky enough to not get one shot, and then Defiance of Destiny will just basically allow you to AFK in front of like 5 trillion monsters and not die. So once this character ghosts, I log over to this character, and now this character doesn't have to be this build. You can do any kind of Magic Find character. I think Kobe was doing Tornado Shot, and now he's trying out Explodey, BV. This is Poison Spark. But the big thing is, this character in specific is a Pathfinder. The reason being, you get Divination Distillate and a Gold Flask. With both of these combined, I have 61 quant and 277 rarity. Which is not bad considering this character is nigh immortal and has enough damage to actually clear Delirious beyond 8 mod, Corrupted, almost any mod in the game maps with all altars. So that's the main thing. It can do all altar mods because it's full fizz conversion, so you don't care about Overwhelm, you're poison, you don't care about Cold and Lightning res, you don't have charges, luckily. Well, you have Frenzy, but remember you don't care about defense as an attribute because you're not running armor evasion, you're full conversion, you'd ignore that. So I can run all the altar mods. It's tanky enough to not die to the I mean, Beyond in particular is absolutely insane when it's delirious. It's just with mods like with maps like the one I just showed you, with 8 mod corrupted crazy maps. So I have done currently we're like balls deep into the middle of 100 runs. I have done, how many did I say, chat? So we're 87 in. So I've done 87 maps total, and I've kept the tabs mostly separate. This is my normal currency tab. I need this because of unrelated. But these are all affinity, and currently we have, this is including some sales of like fractured bases and some uniques. But we've gotten this much currency from 87 maps, and then we've had 3 Aegis drops, 1 Brass Dome, 1 Fang, 1 Immutable Jewel, 1 Stormshroud, 3 Voidborn Keys, 4 Apothecaries, 1 Taste of Hate, 2 Fleshcrafters, and a bunch of other dev cards and loot that I won't go over, including things like Hunger cards, just from Diviners, right? The Doyani's Epiphany, which is like a D and a half, a bunch of other random stuff. Like I said, I've got them all in tabs here. But you can see, you know, just random, you know, level up gems as well, obviously. Bunch of forbidden tomes. Like, how many tomes we got? Like, I don't know, this many. And then this was this tab as well. I'd have to go over it when it's all done. But I would say, if you're curious about solo, I'm making something in the vicinity of 25 divines an hour right now. Yeah, about 25 divines an hour. So this is by far the best currency I've ever had in Path of Exile. By far. The only thing that came close was the group version of this exact same strategy, which is about 20 divines an hour. So, yeah. That does not include the time it takes. That does include the time it takes to sell gear. I mean, it doesn't take long to sell Apothecary cards, which is where most of your profit comes from. But what it doesn't include is the time it takes to buy, not the Sextants. The Sextants don't take long, but the goddamn Winged Scarabs. That's the main problem with the strategy, at least in hardcore. In softcore, I think it's completely different, right? Yeah, I can't speak at all to the profit in softcore, but in hardcore, buying these things is a pain in the ass. It is awful. You just gotta buy them like one at a time, and yeah, It takes a long time. You can do this while watching a movie or some shit, but yeah, that's where you actually spend most of the time, is buying up these bad boys. Buy random ones and use juice. Oh yeah, I'll show you the market. I'll show you the market, lads. So let's say you want to buy more than one at a time, right? So I like to have one bit for the good ones. So we got Reliquary, Ambush, and Torment, and Div. And you can see the entirety of the market of all the scarabs you want. 2, 4, 6, 8, 13, 15, 17, 19, 21. 21 total. This would be 5 maps. Now, obviously, you don't just look for those scarabs though, because you can swap them with purple juice. So if we just do this, there's another 6. And then if I do the last search, which would be Bestiary, Sulfite, Harby, Blight. What am I missing? I need Metamorph and Abyss. There's another like, what, 8, 10, 15. So the entire market of all wing scarabs is about 10 maps. The whole market. If I buy every single scarab, I get about 10 maps. But yeah, anyway, so like I said, I'm getting about 20 maps per Apothecary, which is, I would say, lucky. I think it's closer to 30. So I'm like 1 card up, basically. I'm like 1 card, what do you call it, lucky, So, as I said, got my Winged, got my Sextants on, Eye Slap Ambush on, don't do any of these. Sulfite doesn't do anything. Beast, I don't think you can cull anyway, like I don't think you can magic find these. Not 100% sure on that, don't quote me. Alva will actually suck ghosts out of the map, which is bad. And then Jun, also don't think you would make sense to magic find. So I don't do any of these. You can do Einherr and Jun, but like I said, I don't think it makes sense to magic find those. You slap Ambush on, you can do Torment. I think Ambush feels better, but you could go either way. Now, very important, you don't click the mirror at the start, because once this is also why you can't do Deli Orbs. If you pop the Deli Mirror, the ghosts kind of like bug out, and they don't really like go inside you, so you can't do the Deli Mirror at the start. But yeah, you see, I just run around opening the boxes, have a good time. Now you see, one thing to note, you see how the ghosts can touch stuff normally? That's actually really good to do. You get a little bit of extra ghost juice out of that if you let them do it themselves. Not like a huge deal, like you don't like have to do that, because you still want to go for speed and you want it to be enjoyable. You don't want to like have an awful experience ghosting. Now you'll see these little circles, that's what you want to target. Those circles mean they came from a box, and if they came from the box, they drop 500 increased quantity worth of loot. Now, you can ghost, so you can leave a TP there at the end, or just there. I'm doing it this way because of the thing chasing me. I totally think I lost track of a ghost, but that's okay. Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect. I found that you do want to do a what do you call it? A combination of efficiency and maximizing quantity of drops, because you do want to get through these maps as quick as possible. That is going to impact your currency. So you don't want to spend like 4 minutes ghosting if you can spend 3 minutes ghosting, even if it means it's a little bit less juiced. And yeah, worth pointing out, this character is not that strong with the amount of magic fund that I have on this guy. But you don't really need to be super fast. You just need to have enough damage and tank to get through it. Obviously in softcore you would go for more speed. Like I think Kobe clears these maps in literally like 2.5 minutes or something. I'm obviously not going that fast. If I was going at Kobe's speed, I would be making like like 50 divines an hour would be obscene, right? But like I said, I can't even buy the scarabs anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. Like, I'd go through the scarabs too quickly if I was clearing them at his space anyway, so. Compared to Steel's 1 map an hour. No, I think I do about 5 maps an hour. If you actually ID'd Pog Fracture item. Yeah, someone yesterday, and I kind of like bullied them a little bit, which I shouldn't have done. But they were like, wow, your filter shows so much gear. You should get a better filter. And I said, what are you talking about? They said, you're still showing fractured gear. And I laughed at them. But yeah, fractured gear, I think has made me about 50 divine orbs. Which is absolutely worth it. It is super worth it. It's like half an apothecary worth of profit. It almost pays for the maps, man. So yeah, no, yeah, the filter is set up to only show good bases. I think there's a little bit of a, what do you call it, a league difference here. Maybe fractures don't sell as well on softcore, I don't know, but on hard... See, it's that easy. It's literally, yeah, this is a good showcase. It's literally that easy. All right, well, that's 5 in 88 maps. Shit. Yo, money printing up, brrr. Oh shit. Yo, good map. Yo, good first map, dude. Hey, chat, 1 map an hour, but 1 apothecary an hour. Am I right? Oh shit. Okay, that normally doesn't happen. It usually takes.
It does.
It usually takes a few hours.
He's mechanical god.
That is lucky, but yeah. Yeah. Anyway, pretty good, huh? Can you show total rarity? Yeah, it's 61 quant 277 rarity. Rarity is low, but I still get some cool stuff. Yeah, it's pretty good though. 4 apothecaries. Wait,
my
4?
collection grows.
Yeah. 5 apothecaries and 88 maps. That is lucky actually. That is actually pretty good.